Hi everyone, my name's Katie, nice to see you all, thank you for watching the video. This is going to be centred around stop whistles, or a stop cue itself. Fantastic cue to increase engagement, give you that eye contact that you might struggle with out and about on walks and in general situations with your dogs. Lockdown is a great time to really work on these precise cues and get them really finessed, ready for adding in all of that proofing as well. So tune in, have a little watch, see what you think and have a go. So, what is stop whistle? It is a really great cue that tells your dog to stop what they're doing, freeze, turn around and look straight at you, okay? So it's a really amazing cue for if you're out and about on a walk and there is a situation where there might be a distraction that you don't want your dog to interact with, be it a young child, another dog, perhaps a horse and rider. It's a really great thing to say to your dog, stop, freeze, look at me, wait for that thing to disappear, then carry on, or come to me, or go this way, or go that way. So we're going to get Humphrey, he's a lovely Staffy Cross rescue dog, to teach us this cue. He has no idea what stop whistle is at all, so it's a really brand new thing for him, which would be great for you guys because I assume most of you guys won't have a stop cue at all yet, so it'd be really good for you to see the ins and outs, structure, how it works. So this is Humphrey, he is not looking at the camera right now. We have popcorn to use as treats for him. It's really important to figure out what your dog's main motivator is, otherwise training won't work, okay? They need to have a reason to do what they want to do for you, okay? So without a motivator, they have no reason. Good boy. The main reason why we're using popcorn is because it's low fat and it's quite nice and visible as well. So this part of the training is really good to have a nice visible bit of food. So if you throw it on the floor for them, a dog that isn't so hunty doesn't have to work too hard to find it. Gun dog training is so adaptable and so versatile for these sorts of breeds, okay? It's not just regular Labradors, Spaniels, HPR type breeds that are good at this stuff. Any dog can do it, and this is part of the reason why we're doing these videos for you guys, so you can show you exactly how they are so adaptable in terms of training. So, first game, I guess we're going to play, we can call it, is stop with the remote stop. So we mentioned using a whistle for this sort of cue. I use ACME gun dog training whistles. You can get them on Amazon, they're quite cheap. The main reason why I use whistles as opposed to my voice commonly for a lot of the training I do is because I really go out in all sorts of weather conditions. We don't normally get this beautiful weather in Britain. So this is what we're demonstrating with here is Humphrey being a turd. Come here, Papa. Sit. Thank you. Yeah, we're live. What can I say? So yeah, whistles, we don't normally have glorious weather like this in England, so we do have to deal with a lot of wind and a lot of rain here. My voice does get travelled a lot in these sorts of weather conditions and it doesn't quite reach the dog sometimes, okay? So whistles cut through that sort of weather that we might get. And the reason being that the whistles is good as well is because my dog might not be here the whole time, as you just saw. It might be elsewhere, maybe a few hundred yards away. So as we were saying before, your dog might not be here, it might be elsewhere. So having a whistle does really help them to hear a really precise cue that means only one thing really, depending on what whistle you give them, okay? So the actual sound you're going to make with the whistle is a sound with your hands up in the air, okay? He has no idea what that cue means, by the way, so don't be expecting miracles. This is the whole point of it, is we're showing you from the beginning how it should work, okay? If you don't have a whistle on you, stop is your cue, okay? So nice and audible, nice and loud. Hands again up in the air. Dogs can't see depth that well, they can see visual up height, so use your hands up nice and high to ensure your dog doesn't, you know, respond differently or whatever. So remote stop, all we're going to do what's this? Is throw some food out for him to find. How's the whistle in my mouth? Yeah. 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 Now notice that I'm throwing the food up from my hand. The reason being is, again, that hand signal is up in the sky. If I have the food visible in my hand, he should stop and stare at my hand, which is what he's doing, which is really good. Hunting, again, as I said, might not be the strong point of some of your dogs. They're not Labradors, they're not kind of hunty-esque dogs. So just throwing one bit of food out on a nice flat bit of ground is quite good for them, okay? So again, yeah. None of those heads. Good. Good. Now some dogs might choose to sit or go down or stand, it's really up to them. For unsteady dogs, by that I mean dogs that may get up and run off, when you do this cue. We often recommend asking for a sit or a down afterwards, but for the basics of it, just to get that freeze, is the criteria is what we're asking for, is the freeze rather than anything else. So we're going to jazz it up a bit later, but for now, just a regular stop and stare is what we want. Okay, so one more time, throw some food out for them, let them hunt it out. Good boy. That time there, he was a little bit less eager to look at me, so I really waited for that obvious eye contact. So it doesn't matter how long your dog takes to look back up at you from hunting, really wait with them. What you can do is make a novel noise to get your dog's attention. I tend to clap sometimes or make a little trill with my mouth, just to say, hello, I'm still here. At that point they look, you blow your stop whistle and you throw the food, okay? I can just show you the verbal if you want to as well. So again, same form as before, throw the food out. Stop and throw again. Stop and throw. Stop and throw. So do you see he's freezing in that space? Sometimes you might find the dog creeps towards you a little bit when you're doing this, okay? That generally says to me you're too far away from your dog. If you have distance, they'll shorten the distance up because they want the food that's in your hand, okay? Secondly, your dog might not look at you, might look at the pot of food, so behind your back. I should really have done that before, but I wasn't thinking straight, okay? So food behind your back, throw the food out for them, get some more food ready. Stop and throw, okay? Humphrey-esque, alright? That's it in a nutshell, the remote stop for you guys. Cut the camera short a little bit too early, I think. Humphrey offered a sit behaviour, which is what we were talking about before, where we got a dog that might not be as steady to this cue. So with Humphrey, absolutely, if you saw a squirrel or a pigeon, he might be off like a rocket. So asking for a sit is quite a nice thing to do because it's a bit more of a static behaviour, again a bit more steady. He has to do a bit more to get up off his bottom to go and chase a squirrel than he would do in a stand position. So hovering in that stop, good boy, hovering in that stop position with your hands in the air does actually get them to think a little bit more about what they're being asked to do. And this, in puppy training, generally means sit, so it's quite useful to kind of link it up together a little bit, okay? I didn't really talk about the main reason why we teach stop whistle this way, or one of the ways we teach stop whistles. The reason being is we spend a lot of time with puppies in particular, or any dog that you bring into your home, saying to them, hang with me, stay with me, be with me, engage with me whilst you're out and about on walks, okay? That reason is the reason why most dogs would stick around you, and it's really beneficial, really kind of rewarding for them to be here around your side. So actually ask them to stay where they are and move away from you. That's lovely. Yes. This game really offers that distance that you kind of would want with this stop whistle, okay? There are other games we play, so we use almost like a place board, so a bit of a mat or a bed the dog might sleep on to get some distance, but there's no way really you get distance with your dog unless you do throw some food out, get them to hunt, stop, and throw the food down. Okay, popcorn kind of floats, it doesn't really go through, so maybe find something a bit heavier for them as well. That might be another criticism of this sort of, sequence we're doing, unless you are stood on top of your dog. Stop. Yes, good boy. And can throw it at them, the popcorn might travel away from them. So yeah, just on the job, finding things out about this game. It's always important to see how a trainer does diversify their training a little bit. If everything's perfect, then you can kind of tell that there's been cuts and takes and stuff like that. So the whole reason why we're doing this video is to make it really nice and real, to make sure that we know that if things that are normally going to happen, so things your dog might creep forward, might not stop. Yeah, good boy. The popcorn might fly away from them. All those things are real life things. So it's important to see how a trainer might kind of deviate their training game to help your dog to understand a bit more. Stop. Good boy. What they're offering. Great. A little bit more work with Hump, hence why he's quite puffed out and tired, bless him. But I just wanted to show you how again you can get this really accurate stop next to your side, okay? So I'd really start this training nice and close, not too much distance. In terms of, when I said the word proofing earlier in the first video, by proofing I mean adding in 3Ds, okay? So the first D being distance, is distance away from me and the dog. Second D is distraction, okay? So things around that they might find appealing, like birds, squirrels, whatever it is, okay? and duration. So the time he remains, stop. In the stop position, okay? So, by adding in those 3 Ds, we prove the behaviour to know that the behaviour can work in every situation. And that's ideally what you want, right? Is a dog that can stop without anything else being concerning to them, okay? So if we can get that stop working in those situations, you can have a much more relaxed walk, I guess, in terms of having less stresses to think about with your dog, perhaps running off to go and see things. You can almost have that confidence in knowing you can ask your dog to stop and freeze and look at you whilst these things are happening around them, and then carry on with your day, okay? So again, stop. I say the word stop, he then sits on his bottom, looks at me and gets the food. Quite simple, right? So if you get this a few times, stop. Good boy. Where your dog is accurately stopping on that signal. Notice how my hand in the air, stop, isn't the cue that's actually getting to sit down, it's the verbal stop, which is actually quite nice for me to hear, or see in fact, in that my dog is actually responding, propelling some popcorn towards my feet there. We'll get that picked up before we carry on. The dog is actually responding to my verbal, not my hand signal, and that shows me stop has been learned enough to find out what the behaviour I'm asking for him is, okay? So that concludes the first of our 3 games, the remote stop, okay? So the dog going out, running out to get some food, sniffing the food out, finding it, then looking up and going, I want more food please. You blow your stop whistle or say the word stop and throw more food at them, okay? Humphrey did really, really well, bless him. He's a bit tired now, so we've not got him in the video. He's actually stood with the filmer, okay? So it's really nice to see that he picked up on that in, 5 minutes? So you can see how simple, if the games are effective and the rewards are motivating enough for them, how good it does actually work. And he is your run-of-the-mill Heinz 57, okay, Staffy mix. He's not a gun dog with any shape or form. He might have something in there, but we don't know, okay? So that's the beauty of it, is that these games are so versatile and so adaptable for any breed of dog. So please do send me your videos in if you ever try this with your dog at home. Remote stop, tag me in it, have a little watch on YouTube and see how you go.